Hello there, my RPG lovers, and welcome to another video. So I finally got to try out Where Winds Meet, a wuxia open-world action RPG set in the world of Chinese martial arts.
That's right.
It's a free-to-play game with no pay-to-win elements, where monetization is primarily focused on cosmetic items like character appearances. This game came out in late 2025 for PC, PlayStation 5 and mobile, and I always wanted to check it out and make a video about it. Well, now it will be a perfect time to do that, because we got a major expansion for the game. I partnered up with Everstone Studio to check out the game and the new expansion, so huge thanks to Everstone Studio for sponsoring this video. On March 6th, the game dropped its first major expansion called Hexi, with new regions, new maps, new story content, weapons, bosses, plus 10 plus free draws, and over 100 hours of new content in general. In this video I'm going to talk about my personal experience with the game so far, including all the new content that you can expect to find in the new expansion. Let's start with the new content from the expansion first. Hexi expansion features 3 large maps: Desert, Snowlands and Grassland, including nearly 20 plus sub-regions, 11 plus new bosses, plus new storylines, new gameplay and giveaways. Where Winds Meet has a commitment to staying free, plus no pay to win since launch, offering high quality AAA experience similar to titles such as Crimson Desert, but instead of paying $70, it's completely free. I'm currently exploring the new region in the desert called the Jade Gate Pass, which is located in the heart of the Hexi Desert. This area looks way different compared to anything else we got to see in the base game. There is a brand new storyline called Burlap Sack, where we get to soul travel into a persona of a withered old man known as the Burlap Sack. It's a sad story about an ordinary person who struggles in the harsh desert. But what I found even more interesting is the side story of a nameless messenger. That quest begins as soon as you enter the desert for the first time, when you start following the shade of a man. You need to find fragmented clues such as ancient maps and desert shipwrecks and retrace the footsteps he left behind years ago. I thought the presentation of this side story was very good, and it's a great little introduction quest for the expansion. But you can find even better and deeper side quests in the new expansion. I got to fight a giant world boss called Wandering Ark in the desert, so here's a little clip from that fight. The 3 chapters of the new expansion will unfold over 3 months, so there's a lot more content we'll be getting in the following months. The first one is called the Jade Gate Pass, which is the first major area of the expansion that you can experience right now. I just scratched the surface of this new area, because I wanted to explore the open world a little bit and learn about the gameplay in general in the base game. I explored quite a bit, participated in various activities in the open world, fought some bosses, and even ended up in jail with some other players. I don't know why, but I didn't expect to see a crime system in this game, so this was very cool. Speaking of this prison, I also got to do a side quest related to it, where you get to learn a unique ability to shrink your character. The game seems to be filled with silly side content like this, and sometimes you even get a unique skill like this one. Where Winds Meet has MMO elements as well, and you can choose to explore the world in co-op, fight bosses together with other players, and do some other activities. I thought this was pretty cool, even though I personally prefer to play my RPGs in single player modes. Seeing other players serving time in jail took me by surprise, but it was very cool to see, because it makes the world feel more alive. And if you prefer, you can play in co-op with other players, which will definitely give you those MMO vibes. Or you can explore the world alone and maybe get some help in boss fights by summoning other players. So far, I defeated all bosses by myself with no help, but that might change in some future boss fights. The beginning of this game has some crazy presentation. This is where the tutorial of the game introduces some major mechanics of the gameplay, which is going to be very important, especially in boss fights. Then I got to customize my protagonist with some crazy options that I certainly didn't expect. You can play with a lot of customization options for creating your character, but you can also select some community presets. These are the highest rated community presets. You can look like Michael Jackson or SpongeBob, because why the hell not? I ended up choosing one of these presets that looked pretty cool to me, instead of spending God knows how many hours in the character customization system. But you can certainly do that if that's your thing. Where Winds Meet is essentially a story-driven RPG. There are a lot of cutscenes and characters to meet.
Weren't you going to buy stuff from Beard Guang at the General Shrine? Are we still going or not?
The game puts you in various scenarios while following the main story of each chapter, and it mixes it up with different gameplay features. I was mostly interested in getting the feel of the gameplay and exploring the open world for my first impressions. There are a lot of gameplay features that you gradually get to unlock, including the progression system, different weapon types with unique combat moves, a lot of side content, and open areas to discover. The controls in this game are very snappy, and the freedom of movement makes moving through this world feel very satisfying, especially because you get a triple jump. Yeah, forget double jump, this game gives you a triple jump, which is kind of insane actually. You also get the ability to instantly land whenever you want, which gives you a great control over your character in general. Some of these abilities can be limited in certain situations while doing the main quests, like in dungeons for example. However, you can still use all other combat moves that you have learned. The combat features a fast-paced action system with different weapon attacks depending on the weapon type and some unique abilities that you can learn. Some of those abilities will have unique effects outside of combat as well, or you can use them to solve a puzzle. The new expansion plays with a time rewinding mechanic that can also be described like this. I am still really early in the game, so there is a lot to learn. But from what I can tell so far, timing your abilities and learning when to use the parry mechanic is the most important thing in a fight. I had no idea what to expect from these boss fights, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. I fought around 4 or 5 bosses in total so far, including the new world boss from the expansion, and all of them had unique mechanics and attack patterns. Some of them are a bit weird and unusual, but the design of these fights is top notch. High quality presentation and very good boss fights in general so far, and expect nothing less from the rest of the game. The main goal in most of these fights is to deplete the stamina of the enemy by parrying their attacks and just landing your hits so you can perform this powerful attack when they turn blue. That's an oversimplification of the combat system, but it's a very important thing to learn as soon as possible. You can time your dodges, use regular block and ranged attacks with the bow. I also didn't find these fights extremely difficult or anything, but I played on the recommended difficulty level. As you can see here, you can try playing on higher difficulty levels, which are going to disable some mechanics that are supposed to help you in fights. Come to think of it, I'm going to switch to expert actually, because recommended is a little bit too easy for me. I did die a couple of times in these boss fights though. There is challenge to be had here, even on recommended difficulty level, but you can always switch the difficulty later if you want to. The difficulty also affects the open world exploration. I got to explore some dungeons and do some light puzzles as well. I'm at the very end of the first chapter of the main story, but then I immediately went to the new expansion zone so I can get the feel of it. Like I said before, I just scratched the surface of this new expansion, but I can already tell how different it feels compared to the base game. Different in a good way, because exploring the new desert area feels pretty unique. You get some new mechanics to play around with, which involves turning back the time. You can repair some buildings and structures with this ability, and even use it as a combat mechanic against some bosses. There is a new traveling method, which allows you to turn into this Medusa thing. I have no idea what this creature is, but it's pretty fun to glide through the sands like this. And that would sum up all the major features of the new expansion and my early impressions of the game. The new expansion is a perfect excuse to revisit the game as a returning player or to try it out for the first time like me. The game has hundreds of hours of content for free, so if you end up enjoying what it has to offer, you get a lot of value for literally $0. And the new expansion is free as well, so I see no reason why not to give this game a chance if you're interested. Just don't forget to use my link in the video description if you plan to check this game out, so that developers know that you came straight from this video. Once again, massive thanks to Everstone Studio for sponsoring this video and reaching out to the channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. And if you want to go a step further, consider supporting your boy by becoming a YouTube channel member or a Patreon. Huge thanks to all my current supporters, and I'll see ya in the next one.